I mean, it is amazing how much demand there is. No matter, like I was just saying yesterday, there's not a lot of headlines in the new stimulus bill about relief for state and local governments, so people are piling into munis anyway.
Well, I think that the HEALS Act and the comparison to the HEROES Act is important to look at. But as you were mentioning, there has been a significant amount of flows into muni funds over the last couple of weeks, and we saw just last week. We finally went net positive for the year. There was a significant amount of flows out of muni funds back in March. But as you mentioned, that ramp up over the last couple of weeks has really helped.
Why is it? Is it just that the yield is too attractive for people to ignore in this like terrible rate environment? Do they just think, hey, there's no way they're actually going to really stop paying their bills because the federal government will come in and do something?
I think that part of it is the value of the tax exemption. I think that part of it is also the fact that there are a lot of municipal entities across all sectors, state, local governments, airports that had very good fiscal positions going into this.
Yeah, which helps, of course, gives you a little bit more to draw upon. So let's talk about some of those places. You mentioned airports, but another one hot button issue. Let's talk about toll roads, what kind of status they're in, whether we should expect more and more toll roads as places look to raise revenue.
Yeah, I think that when you're looking at the revenue sectors like airports or toll roads specifically, I think that you really need to get into the situation that the individual credit is dealing with. There are some toll roads that, as you would imagine, I mean, there are people driving less, like you were talking about in your previous segment. But one of the things that's also happening is there's also a rise in commercial activity in some areas. And I think that while that commercial activity might not be exactly where it was, a year ago this month, that commercial activity has helped sustain those types of toll roads also.
And I know that you think there are some places where people can look for munis that have been a little less impacted by COVID. I'm surprised that water and electric utility are among them. I would have thought that people might have been struggling to make those ends meet.
Well, the fact of the matter is that, it is important to talk about the potential aid for state and local governments. But I think that where those sectors are concerned, the sectors that we have stable outlooks on still are water and sewer, the electric utilities, and also the state and local housing finance agencies. Those are sectors that have been, and we expect to be less affected by what's happening with COVID. But that being said, that HEALS Act only included about $100 billion for school districts and did not include anything for states. And I think that that's going to be important going forward for the sector.
All right. So you'd like to see that increase for people to really breathe easy?
Absolutely. I think that for some kind of meaningful aid, I think is going to be around the $500 billion mark, which we'll have to see how things. There's a deadline of next Friday, so we're going to have to see how that shakes out over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we will be watching with close interest, as all these investors will be as well. Tom